What's up, everyone? I'm Sophia Pasternak. I'm a writer and a psychotherapist, and this channel is all about the intersection where those two things meet. Also, you can come along with me on my author journey if that's what you're into. Please like this video so I know that to make more similar to it. Also, subscribe so that you can get to see my videos as they come out. This video today, I'm going to be talking about the 10 ways that I come up with story ideas. If you have a way that's different from what I bring up, leave it down in the comments, share so other people could use it too. Let's get into the video. So method one, the way that I come up with story ideas, is updating folklore and fairy tales that I love. My family is Ukrainian, and so I grew up as a kid with a lot of Russian fairy tales. Also, I'm Jewish, and there's a lot of really interesting Jewish folklore that is Ashkenazi, which is what I am. And I really love those stories, and I kind of noticed that a lot of them don't get a lot of face time when it comes to fairy tale and folklore retellings. So I retold some of my favorites, and this is what happened. I wrote a book that got published. So Anya and the Dragon and its sequel, Anya and the Nightingale, are both very kind of loose retellings of very specific folklore tales that I grew up with. So that's way one that I come up with story ideas. Way number two, fun historical information. I'm a big history geek. Not officially, I don't have a degree in it or anything, but I do really often go down these historical rabbit holes just learning about various neat cultures from the past. I really love ancient history, so the older the better. And the work in progress that I have going on right now is set in the 9th century in kind of the area where Ukraine is now, in a kingdom of Jews who don't exist anymore. And we don't really know a ton about them. So researching has been challenging, but also really fun. And I'm getting tons of ideas for other stories for that, from that research. Way number three, weird family stories. This is yet another one that I tell the story and people go, wow, that's really funny. You should make a book out of that. Growing up out on the farm that I lived on, we basically collected goats that got abandoned out on the road in front of our farm. And which to me, that's just how I grew up. And like, oh yeah, people abandon goats. That's what happens. But apparently that's not something that happened to other people. And so I've had a lot of people tell me, yeah, you should write a book out of that. That's really funny. Not an adult book, like a picture book. But yeah, weird old family stories that you might not think are weird and you might think like totally normal, not, and other people would love to hear about it. Way number four is by reading other books. Now, I'm not talking about stealing ideas from other people, absolutely not. But sometimes in reading other stories, they might mention something really fast and then continue on a different route. And you go, but wait, what about that thing? I want to know about that thing. So you could write a story based on an idea that you had that was inspired by another book that you read that they just didn't go into. Or if you really resonated with a certain character, but you think that their story should have been something different, you can kind of write your own story, not necessarily fan fiction, don't take their character from them, but you could write your own story that resonates with what you resonated with that character, if that makes sense. So getting inspiration from other books, not stealing ideas, not plagiarism, but inspiration from other books is a good way to get ideas. This one's going to be kind of bizarre. Twitter title memes. So if you're on Twitter or even on Instagram, I know that you have seen those little things. It's like your birth month, the day you were born, the first letter of your last name, etc. And it'll be, actually, I did one of those and I'm writing a book based on the title, and it was blank, comma, blank, comma, and other things that blank or something like that. That was the layout. And mine was kissing, book club, and other things that are better in space. And that was just a silly title from this game. And it clicked with me and I went, oh my gosh, I have a story idea based off of that. And so I started writing the story with the title, Kissing, Book Club, and Other Things That Are Better in Space. and it was a lot of fun. So participate in those. You could also do the autofill games where you just let your phone's autofill kind of tell you what to write. And some of them are kind of dumb, but some of them are really amazing and can kind of get your brain going. Way number 6 is with MSWL, which stands for Manuscript Wish List Requests. So again, on Twitter, if you follow certain agents or editors, they will put out like a hashtag MSWL and say, I'm really looking for this kind of story. And sometimes they'll say, I don't know, something like a vampire that opens a bakery in Arizona, and you go, oh my gosh, I could write that story. And you write it, not necessarily just particularly to appease that one agent or editor, but because that story resonates with you. And sometimes they're looking for stuff that's kind of weird and you never would have thought to write it. And then once you see that somebody's looking for it, you go, oh, totally, I could write that. And I will love it. Way number 7 is doing blank meets blank exercises. So my current book that I just finished could be pitched as, and I have been pitching it as, Spinning Silver meets Chernobyl. That's my intersection there, which is a good marketing tool. And if you get really good at that, it's an amazing way to pitch to agents and editors. But it's also a good way to come up with stories. So take a few minutes and write down on little strips of paper all of your favorite books, all of your favorite movies, shows, hobbies, places, just all the things that you really love and you are passionate about. And then start pulling 2 out of a hat. And this meets this. Can I write a story about that? You know, this meets this. Can I write a story about that? I have one in the works that is bread baking meets Heart of Darkness. But it's a really fun story. So you can do this exercise just with all the things that you have a lot of passion and you have an interest in, and tailor it specifically to you. And then later, it's handy when you're trying to pitch it. This one is weirdly specific. Stick with me. Number 8, making excuses for bad habits. So my bad habit is binge watching commentary channels on YouTube. I like the ones that are less mean and are constructive and are just very brutally honest. I like it because I don't have any directed at me right now. Maybe if I did, I would be less open to it. But as a psychotherapist, I do think that with some people, a dose of reality is what they need. And I do enjoy watching channels who can be critical, but not mean about it. I enjoy them. And so I'm watching all of these commentary channels just kind of back to back to back. And my husband goes, what are you doing? Why are you watching those? And I went, it's book research. And he said, yeah, right. For what? And I was like, oh, no, it totally is. It's, there's a demon, and he uses YouTube to troll people until he meets someone he can't troll. And that was my excuse. And he went, fine, and walked off. And I went, that would be a really cool story. And so I started writing that one. So that turned into an actual story too. I also binge watched The Bachelorette for a while. And again, why are you watching The Bachelorette? Oh, because I'm writing a story and it involves The Bachelorette and I had to do research and I've got that story going on too. So yeah, making excuses for the bad habits, thinking of the things that you do that maybe you shouldn't, and turn it into a story. And then you have an excuse to do the thing that wasn't great. Number 9, classical literature. So updating classical literature, we all know about like Pride and Prejudice and zombies and that kind of thing. Earlier I said I had a book that was bread baking plus Heart of Darkness. So find classical literature that you're familiar with, that you know the themes of, and update that, add something quirky, and you can get a book out of that. And the final way that I get ideas, and maybe my very favorite way, is blank, but with wizards. The one I just finished is the Cold War, but with wizards. You could do anything and add wizards and make it so much better. American politics, but with wizards. College, but with wizards. That's basically what Harry Potter was. A boarding school, but with wizards. So add wizards to something and it's going to be 100 times better, guaranteed. I don't know why I'm like shrinking in every other video that I do. Every video I just kind of get more and more, so I'm trying to sit up. All right, so that was 10 ways that you can get story ideas, my top 10 ways to get story ideas. Do you have any that you go to when you're really looking for ways to come up with ideas for what book to write next that were not the same as mine? If so, leave a comment down below and share that knowledge with other viewers of this video. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up so that I know that I should make more content like this in the future. Also, please subscribe to the channel so that you are on the ground floor when I post new videos. On my website, I have a newsletter subscription there, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you will get fresh content on stuff that I don't really post on other social media. So I really like baking bread, and I'll have recipes there. My favorite goat today, things that are going on with my books, etc., and so on. If that's something that you're interested in, sign up there and you can get kind of an inside look into my life. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Use some of my ideas, go make some amazing stories, and have a great day.